Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm very excited to have Stephanie Gilstrap here. Stephanie is a virtual stylist. And if you're like me, you can definitely use one. So, Stephanie's going to talk to us about the 5 wardrobe mistakes guys like myself, married and business owners, that we make. So, Stephanie, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Doug. It's such a pleasure to be here. So thank you.
Yeah, I've been really excited about this. I told some of the men that are involved in the movement of the powerful man that you and I were going to be talking, and I wasn't surprised, but also surprised at the same time how many men were interested in this subject because it seems to elude a lot of us guys.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and it's actually like, I mean, it's totally something that I think like doesn't come natural for a lot of guys, and that's totally okay. But I do think that a lot of men do understand how much it could potentially, impact your confidence and the way your partner, or if you're single, the way women are attracted to you and things like that. And I think that that is where that interest really comes from. So
Yeah, well, absolutely. Well, as you know, most of the men that are involved in the powerful man and kind of our podcast and our other programs that we offer, most of them are married business owners. Some of them are,
mhm,
have been guys like myself, been married for a while. Maybe things have slipped and things like that. And we also have some other guys who are fresher to the market, right? Their
mhm,
marriage maybe didn't pan out the way they thought it would. So anyway,
mhm.
I'm really excited to get into these things and see where my 5 mistakes are. So I'll let you take it from here. What's number 1?
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I would say the number one tip that I have that tends to be a pretty common mistake is wearing tennis shoes to a few too many occasions to where maybe we should pick a different kind of shoe, right?
Yep, guilty.
So, yeah. So I'm mostly talking about, those actual like athletic shoes that should be reserved, for the gym or for running or things like that. Wearing those out to like dinners or dates or, things like that, where it would be a really great opportune time to put on a little bit more of a, classic kind of sexy shoe instead.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I'm definitely guilty of that as a guy that's always outdoors doing stuff. For the classic shoe, where should guys go to find a shoe like that? Obviously someone like yourself, but if
Mhm.
someone's shopping, like what is a classic shoe?
Yeah. So, well, I will say that, there's definitely like casual shoes that work for, they're a little more elevated than a regular athletic shoe, but it's still nice and casual. So what I mean by that is I think like a nice leather sneaker, like a leather low profile sneaker. It doesn't have to be any kind of particular brand per se, or, whatever your budget is, but that tends to be like still casual, but you could like dress it up for certain occasions and things like that. Another really amazing shoe that works really well for men is called a Chelsea boot.
Hmm.
So if you were to like, yeah, type that term into any kind of Google search or any major, department store, like let's say Nordstrom or something like that, it'll bring up lots of different Chelsea boot options. But it's essentially a laceless boot that you can just slip your foot right into. It usually comes in leather or suede. Really classy, nice. You can wear them with jeans, chinos, anything like that. And they're really versatile. So, yeah, I would say any kind of like major department store. Like I said, Nordstrom is a really great example. They have all kinds of different options at all kinds of different price points as well. So,
Awesome. Great tip. I know I get compliments every time I wear mine. I just maybe could wear them more often.
yeah, yeah, right. And it feels good to get those compliments for sure. And it's just a matter of having those shoes like ready to go, right? Because I think it's just like the easy thing. Guys, you guys are super simple, right? You just want things to be easy. So having that intention of just having those shoes out with all of your other shoes, so then that way you can think outside the box a little more often and reach for shoes that maybe you wouldn't normally. So
Love it. Love it. Great advice. What's number 2?
yeah. So number two is visible undershirts.
Mm.
Yeah. So undershirts are actually meant to be like not seen in a perfect world. So it's, and especially it's important too to make sure that your undershirts, just in case they do peek out a little bit, are like nice and clean and not dingy, right? As my own husband, I've had to, kind of have some conversations with him to make sure we're swapping out those undershirts, to make sure that, they're not starting to get a little bit of something around the collar, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah. So undershirts, it's important to note that they come in crew neck, which is the higher like circular neck, and they also typically come in V-neck as well. So you want to pay attention to the shirt that you're wearing that day. So if you are wearing a shirt over the top, your main shirt is a crew neck or something that comes up higher, you're not going to be unbuttoning any buttons, then a crew neck undershirt works great. But if you are wearing a button up shirt and you plan to unbutton the top button or two, then in that situation, a V-neck undershirt is going to be the more appropriate choice so that it doesn't show through. Does that make sense?
It makes complete sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guilty on this one as well. So
Yeah, no, it's totally common. It's totally common. And just another like quick tip about like undershirts is, of course, thinking about, because it is going to peek out probably at some point, as long as it's not like completely obvious, but making sure as well that you're pairing the colors. So we never want to put like a black undershirt under a white shirt or vice versa and things like that. So if you have like a lighter colored shirt, you're going to want to go obviously with a white undershirt. And then if you have more of a dark solid or printed shirt, then a black would be your best bet with that. So
awesome. Great tip. Okay. Well, let's just keep going on. What would you say number 3 is here?
yeah. Okay. So number 3, this is so common with everybody. This is not just men, but men, of course, do this as well. When that is hiding behind big clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I mean by that is, as we obviously age and our bodies change, right? We maybe tend to put on a little more weight, maybe than we used to, that kind of thing. And so, in our minds, what we tend to do is reach for more like large, unstructured type clothes, like, especially, I'm sure you can like shirts and things like that, right? Um, yeah, totally. But what that does is it actually does the opposite of what we're hoping. So we're hoping that it conceals, but what it actually does is it creates the illusion that we're bigger than we are. It just creates more surface area, if that makes sense, like from
Yep.
a visual standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've all seen the guy that does that, right? He's got the extra large shirt on just to cover the belly, but his chest and shoulders and his arms don't quite fit in it. And he looks like he's swimming in the
Yeah.
shirt.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So, so the intention is there. It's a positive intention, but you're actually going to look better and you're going to feel better with a more fitted option. So here's one thing to think about. So there are different like cuts of shirts actually. So there's like a regular fit, which again, oftentimes what bigger guys do is they go for more of like a regular fit. And what that means is that the seam from the armpit down to the hip is just like a very, very straight seam. And so it has like a box effect, like a big wide box effect, because they're, trying to have that loose material around the stomach area, right? Then there's also like a slim cut, which is actually from the armpit down to the waist is a little bit more of a tapered angle like this.
Okay.
And actually, slim fit is universally the most flattering for guys, no matter what your size is.
Did not know that.
I know it's kind of crazy, right? Because especially guys, that and again, women do this too, is like you think, oh, I'm not like a super small size, so like I'm not going to wear something that's the word slim, right? That's not for me. But that's actually totally a myth. Like slim fit just means the way the side seam is angled. And you think about the actually, scientifically speaking, the most ideal body shape for a man is trapezoid on the so your shoulders are wide and your waist area is narrow, and a slim fit shirt mimics that shape, and so it's just going to be a lot more flattering fit. Kind of interesting, right?
Well, it is, as a guy that's a lot of a guy, athletic, work out a lot, I always think skinny jeans, slim fit. I couldn't get my legs in those,
Yeah.
and slim is for the skinny guys who never exercise. So I just skip that section altogether.
Yeah, totally. I know, and I hate that they even call it slim cut, because I feel like it's very, very misleading as far as what people naturally think, right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, really, fit is everything. That's just kind of a side note, I feel like, when it comes to clothes, because you can dress like in very inexpensive clothes. I truly believe that style doesn't necessarily have to be expensive, if you don't want it to be. But so long as you're choosing the right cuts and fits and things like that, it's always going to come across very expensive from a visual standpoint. So,
Great tip.
yeah, thank you.
Well, let's go on, moving on. What's number 4?
Yeah. So, number 4, okay, is untucked dress shirt. So, I need to elaborate on what exactly that means. So, a dress shirt is classified as, and I'm sure you know, Doug, what I'm talking about when I say this. A dress shirt, what I mean by that is the ones that are, if you were to leave it untucked, it's extremely long.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Uh,
and they usually come in the little like folded packages and stuff.
I know exactly what you're talking about. We've all business guys, happy hour, whatever guys that walk around with that or untuck their shirt after a long day of work. But you also see it tends to be younger guys in my experience, especially that wear the shirt like it's with jeans or something else. And uh,
Yeah. Yeah, they don't quite understand, right? I mean, because I totally believe like there's a time and a place where you're just like, screw it, I'm untucking my shirt. You know what I mean? I'm having a drink, like whatever, go for it. But like, yeah, I would agree with you. I think oftentimes it is younger guys that literally don't understand that like you're just not supposed to wear your shirt like that in normal circumstances, right? Um, so so a side note with that is, so for you guys watching this, is the appropriate length for an untucked shirt is actually mid zipper.
okay.
So, yeah. So there are actual, which I'm sure if you think in your head, like shirts you have in your closet that do kind of fit that bill. There are shirts that are specifically made to be untucked, and you know that because of where it hits you at your zipper.
Mm.
So if you are wearing a shirt that you have it untucked and you're just feeling like, man, this just feels awkwardly long. Like, what do I do with this thing? That's because the shirt is designed to be tucked in and they make it long so that it doesn't pop out. So
Got it. Okay. Great. That's good to know.
interesting, right? I know guys, when they hear that length thing, they're always just like, oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Yeah. What's so funny, I mean, like a lot of things in life, I got to imagine for most men, you just never get taught these things, right? You
Yeah.
look at the men around you, you go to the store, you buy some shirts. Maybe it's online because most of us guys don't like to shop, or we don't have a virtual stylist to help us out. And you kind of just, fake it till you make it. And a lot of times you just don't even make it. You just keep faking it.
Yeah, right? It's totally a guessing game, and I always like say, especially with professional men, it's like you have so much like to deal with in general. It's like to have to expend just more energy and stress like trying to figure out style, which like I said in the beginning just isn't natural for a lot of guys and actually a lot of women too, but we don't need to talk about that right now. but yeah, it's just something that it's like, man, this is like a lot more effort. And so what happens is it just like they, oftentimes don't try, or, it just gets put on the back burner, when in reality, it can really like help you to show up differently in your life. So,
Well, it's interesting you say that, Stephanie. So for a couple of things, so what I do professionally outside of the Powerful Man is I do
mhm,
business consulting. So when I'm going in,
mhm,
it's that first impression, right? It's the first chance that I
mhm,
get to really make an impression on the management team that I'm working with, or the owners, or the investors, depending on the situation. And what I've seen over the years change, and this is probably over the last really 5 to 6 years, and men in particular are starting to really recognize that that first
mhm,
impression is really important. Guys are starting to really take care of
mhm,
shaping their beards, haircuts, facials, whatever it may be. But oftentimes, a lot of guys neglect, especially at the other
mhm,
levels, the actual clothes and the fashion that
mhm,
they're actually putting out there.
mhm. Yeah, isn't that true? I feel like we're more than ever in such like a visual time, just in general, though. Yeah, we're showing up like from a first impression standpoint. We truly do, within 7 seconds. I'm sure you've heard that statistic before, but 7 seconds, people are making massive snap judgments about us, just about even like trustworthiness, and things that, like responsibility, things that really matter, especially when you're a professional. So, and that's, so your clothes are speaking long before you even have a chance to say a word. And I think that that's really important for people to understand. And then once you do get the opportunity to speak, the clothes truly are going to just be one more tool that you can utilize to just show up as your best self. So,
Oh, I got so many questions for you, but I know everybody's watching this. They're like, okay, wait a minute. That's four. You said five.
yeah.
What's number five?
Yeah. Number five would be just being cheap. And this, like, in the sense of like, man, I don't want to spend money on style. It doesn't matter. Like, that's not where I want to put my money. Like, or I am not like physically where I want to be, so I'm not going to buy any clothes. And honestly, quite honestly, I struggle with my own husband with this. I'm like, would you stop being so cheap? Like, you need some of these things to help you, like, show up and be your best self. And these things really, really do matter. It's not about going over the top with it, but do understanding that there are really some core things that you need in your wardrobe, that are versatile and, help you to feel your most confident. And so I think it's just a matter of like reframing a little bit and seeing clothes as something that are an investment in you and in your career and in your relationships, essentially. And it's really important to put a little money aside and make those investments. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, as you said, it's the 7 seconds, the first impression. So,
mhm,
as businessmen, we're out there working so hard on our communication skills, how to pitch, how to practice leadership skills with our team. We're bringing in consultants like myself and things of that nature. Yet when it
mhm,
comes to getting clothes for ourselves, we're on Amazon. We go to Costco, Old
mhm.
Navy. If someone's swinging by, I just need some old T-shirts. The ones I got from college 20 years ago still work. It's an
Yeah.
interesting mindset.
Yeah, it totally is. And I just believe that that's all just stemmed in not knowing. Like,
Mhm.
so it's like, and there's always this fear, just it's human nature to be like, well, it's almost like you're self prophesizing, kind of like, well, I know I'm going to buy the wrong thing, so I might as well make it cheap. You know what I mean? So then I'm
Yep.
not wasting money on something that's not the right thing, right?
Sure.
And that's where, especially, some professional guidance can be really beneficial. It can actually end up saving you money in the long run. So yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, you just gotta like understand what works best for you, what your style is, what makes you feel your best, and running with it and being willing to invest.
Well, so Stephanie, I'm with you on the investment, right? It's the best thing I've ever done in every area of my life is invest in a professional. You can't just know everything. And as men, or at least me, I don't want to spend time learning. I'm not interested in it. I'm interested in the outcome, but I'm not
Yeah.
interested in the process. I'm best I'm really, really good at what I do, and I want to
Mhm.
keep sharpening the saw there. So you mentioned something I thought was really interesting, and honestly, it's something that I struggled with. I lived in Southern California my whole life, and then at 40, I move up into the mountains, and outside of in Oregon, outside of Bend, as you know,
Mhm.
and and I travel internationally with teaching business leaders. So it's
Mhm.
interesting in mindset. You talked about know what your style is. I grew up in an environment where flip flops, shorts, and a t shirt was perfectly acceptable everywhere. Um, so
Mhm.
how's a business leader there, whether I'm going to New York, I'm going to, I work a lot in Arizona, as you know, all over the place, or Morocco. How does a man design a style that suits him for these various occasions?
Oh my gosh, such a great question. Such a great question. Well, I think it's a matter of, I mean, there is some trial and error involved. Unless you have the luxury of having a professional that is just going to hand you all the answers, right? Uh, you have to be willing to try things and invest a little bit of time and money and things like that into figuring out what does feel good. So much of it starts with having an awareness around like I just said, when you put certain things on your body, how does it make you feel? Like there does need to be some energy invested in that type of thought process because that's important information to pay attention to. Like, do I feel like super confident in when I'm wearing this particular piece or this type of outfit? And if so, what is it about this outfit that I really, really like? I definitely think it's super important to, before you're even willing to invest, is to go online and like look at pictures of guys in different outfits and figure out what am I drawn to. And I know it sounds, maybe to some of you, a little like not men, but men get on Pinterest all the time. Are you familiar with Pinterest, Doug?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So Pinterest is like the best place to go look at outfits. So if you just type in, whatever you're going for, like men's professional outfit or a men's business casual outfit, and it's a search engine. So it'll just bring up all these different looks. And if you actually like group them onto a mood board within Pinterest, and once you've got, let's say 10 or 20 looks, just look them over and be like, you know what consistencies am I noticing here? Are you noticing a certain piece that, is showing up over and over, or a certain color scheme or something like that? And that can be like a really good starting point for you.
That's awesome. That's great advice. And as a consultant, I can tell you Pinterest for men is one of the fastest growing. Men are
Hmm.
growing to Pinterest more and more. And it adds to your point on how, as a society, we're so image conscious, right? We have
Hmm.
Pinterest is big, but Instagram, even TikTok with video, people want to see things rather than
Hmm.
just reading them.
Hmm. Yeah, and yeah, video in general is just like massive right now in business, right? I mean,
Yep.
I've heard so many business leaders say that like if you're not on video, like be warned, like you might be left behind at this
Oh
point,
yeah.
like because that's the direction, on every social media platform and things like that. Everything is video, but of course, and pictures will always be around, right? They're just going to continue to become more and more prevalent. So.
Yeah, and we're all on video, like you and I. Obviously, we're in
Hmm.
different states right now. Guys that watch this show know that a lot of the men that are coaches are all over the world, from South Africa to England, and we're constantly
Hmm.
doing this. And with the pandemic, we're on, being present and looking your best. Not only to feel confident, which is important, but also to give across that image of leadership is critical, especially nowadays. And that's not going to change anytime soon.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I actually, one of my big things that I love to teach on is, the message that our close send. I always ask my clients, when you think of who you are and your brand, what are 5 words that you want people to know about you as soon as they look at you? Going back to that like first impression standpoint and like the leader thing. And almost everyone I talk to is, like, I want to be seen as a leader. I want to be seen as that like go-to person, that I really am like the guy of my industry. But then you also have to think, once you think about that, like, are the clothes that I'm wearing right now actually projecting that message? because your clothes are projecting some kind of message. You just want to make sure that it's in alignment with what you want them to say.
Oh, and it's so true. I can't tell you how many times I've misjudged people, and I try not to, right? I'm human, but based on what it is they're wearing, especially in the tech space these days, it's really tough to see where people
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. The tech space, that's a rough one for me right now. Oh, and because it's so true. It's just like we should want to like feel our best, right? And we should want other people to view us as our best, and especially it can only do great things. It might turn into an amazing connection that you otherwise may not have gotten, or like networking or that promotion or whatever it might be. It can only benefit you positively.
Absolutely. Well, so Stephanie, as a virtual stylist, right? So if you are working with me, is how does a guy even start? Like, obviously, reaching out to you is one, but where's someone start working with a virtual stylist? How does that work?
Yeah. Well, definitely you could go obviously directly to my site because I can work with anyone from anywhere. But you can obviously just like Google virtual stylist. You can look up hashtags on Instagram to find someone that you really connect with. But essentially, I mean, someone that really knows what they're doing is going to want to learn more about you, learn more about your message, not just hand you clothes to wear, not considering, the things that are going to make you actually feel your best. So yeah, just finding someone that you really jive with and connect with and do some searching and of course referrals, as we all know, referrals are great. So ask around to any of your colleagues that have maybe worked with someone and then kind of go from there.
Well, and referrals is how you and I got connected, which I think is important because there were so many people that reached out when we said, "Hey, look, we want to bring this subject to the audience,"
Mhm.
it was a no brainer to bring you on, just based on the referrals, which everybody knows referrals are the best coming through. So one question was, because I know the guys out there are going to be like, "Okay, but what is it? What is it like if I have a virtual stylist online? What does that process look like?"
Yeah, yeah. So one of my most popular things that I do is my seasonal freshen ups. And that's basically where we get on Zoom and I have some really specific questions that I love to ask, like kind of going back to like, what is the message that you want to send? What does your current wardrobe look like? And, what don't you like about it? Like, what isn't working for you? What kind of things are you drawn to? How do you feel about colors and patterns and, all of that? And all of that information I'm able to use to really get a feel for what your personal style is. And I even show you actually images from Pinterest, a collection of images of different men's outfits. And I want to hear from you. What do you like about this outfit? And what are you just like, no, I don't like this? So it's a very honest back and forth conversation. That information just totally is something that I'm like, okay, this is what this person likes. This is the message they're wanting to send. And from there, I'm able to create three new looks for them, like brand new with shopping links and everything according to their budget. And then from there, we meet again and talk about styling and answer questions and chat about, dressing for your body and all of that good stuff, just to like give you some additional knowledge to move forward with. So that's like a very like efficient way to like get some quick information, get a few outfits to get you rolling, and then we can meet the next season as well, and obviously following that as well. So
You had me at shopping links, right? I am the guy who buys
yeah,
everything online.
yeah. I know it totally makes it easy, and that's what's so great about being a virtual stylist. And I can get you the links from wherever you like to shop at. And if you don't shop, that's okay too. I already have ideas for places that I can like hook you up with great things that are going to meet your needs as well. So
Awesome. Well, Stephanie, I know there's going to be a ton of questions coming through these, and these guys are going to be watching what I'm wearing. Again, being a t-shirt and shorts guy on these camera calls. If they want to reach out to you directly, what's the best way for them to do so?
Yeah. So my email is Stephanie at styleinfluential.com. So feel free to shoot me an email. My website is styleinfluential.com. There's links on there to get in touch with me as well. And of course, my Instagram, my DMs are always open in my Instagram too. It's I am underscore Stephanie Gilstrap.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. And guys, here are 5 easy things you can avoid. I know a couple of them are things that I need to relook at myself, embarrassingly enough to admit. But hey, we're guys. At the end of the day, we're all trying to improve. So, Stephanie, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thanks for having me, Doug.